Hi, this is Zero, and this is What If Deku Had Chakra, second part. We left off while Miski just ran in the hospital room. Now let's start off. She came and hugged Izuku. Izuku didn't hug her back because he was still processing everything that has happened and at the same time keeping his emotions in check. He would be told after Mizuki let her go and said, "Sorry, I'm so sorry that happened to you at such a young age," and all that stuff, but Izuku say, "I'm okay. It's okay. I'm fine, or I will be fine after some time. So don't worry." Mizuki was just nod and he was still crying. Then few police officer would come in and talk to Izuku that her mother got a heart attack after she was being robbed by a villain. Before villain could shoot her, she got a heart attack and died. This incident will be very, very, um, but what's the best way to put it? Essential or very important in Izuku's life because he now does not have the empathy towards villain that much that normal hero does to not to kill them or not to do anything, because if an villain has a bomb on his chest that can only be disabled by him dying, other heroes would try to find another way, but Izuku would straight up kill him without any hesitation or so. So he won't be hesitating to kill from now on. That's what made the movement of his life so difficult for him, because he had to go through so many emotions: anger, grief, and sadness. And then, after 2 days, the funeral was held. Bakugo was there, Katsuki's mother, his father was there. I don't remember his name, sadly. Izuku just stood there. He wasn't crying, he was holding himself together on the outside, but inside he was kind of pretty messed up. You could see him. If you look him in the eyes, you will see that he's not in his best of minds per se. Ah, damn, I yawned. And so, after Inko's death, um, Izuku didn't go to school for a week. He just cried on his bed sometimes and meditated to get himself much more calmer. He needed to be as calm as he can possibly go. While all that is happening, Katsuki does not want to bully Deku anymore because of his power and what happened to him. He just lost the only person he had in his life. His father wasn't home. He didn't even see his father's face ever, except for the day he was born. He doesn't remember that anymore. His father works overseas, but unknowing to Izuku, his father has died a week before Inko died, but no one knew because no one has found uh, Hayashi's body yet. Since Izuku is an anime protagonist, it has to happen. I cannot stop it. The MC must go through hellish of pain to become the most powerful of them all. Well, that's out of the way, a little joke. In the past week, Izuku has finally created his diamond jutsu that allowed him to create diamonds, but he can only create five at a time. But that alone takes almost half of his chakra. Not half, I would say 25% of his chakra to create five diamonds. He can regenerate his chakra in a night, and so and then before going to school, let's say it was a Saturday, Izuku wears now black because he's still grieving in his own way. He goes to a pawn shop or a jewelry shop, whatever you want to call it, and tell them that I want to sell these diamonds. There were 20 of them, or 25, let's just say 25. No, 20. 20 of them. The pawn shop owner or the jewelry shop owner would look look at Izuku and ask, "Did you steal them?" Izuku would say, "No, I created them using my quirk." And then Izuku would weave some hand signs and put his hand together for a few seconds. And when he was done, he created another diamond. And then Izuku would say, "Sell this one too." Then he would nod. It was kind of a jewelry shop and pawn shop together. So yeah, he sold those for pretty hefty amount of money. I mean, pretty hefty. Let's just say near about $500 million. Yeah, 500. No, it's too much. Let's just say 100 million. 100 million. Because they were huge diamonds. I mean, hmm, as big as someone's thumb. Not that big, but pretty huge diamonds, not the small ones, but big ones. So 100 million. That's it. So he was set. He went to uh, the property dealing uh, shop, whatever it's called. I don't know what it's called. Where a person goes to buy a new home. So he buys a new home that costs him near about 1 million because he bought his home as far away from the main city as he could, almost on rich people area. Let's just say his home has he's kind of a loft. Let's just say he bought a loft. No, a home, a mansion, and he starts to move his stuff. At the same time, while he's moving it, Mizuki, Inko's friend, was passing by. She came to see that he was moving, and she would start asking Izuku questions like, "Where are you moving? How are you moving? How did you get the money?" And Izuku would be like, "Don't worry, Auntie Mizuku. I created a technique with my chakra manipulation that allowed me to create few valuable things like a diamond or so, so I can sell them to create some money too. So I bought a new home." Uh, Mizuki would nod and say that, "Izuku, if you ever need anything, don't hesitate to ask." Izuku would nod and say, "Okay, Auntie Mizuki," and then he will walk away and vanish using body flicker to go to his new home. He, he has a pretty huge home. I mean, huge. I mean, 5 bedroom, 4 bathroom uh, type of home. So yeah, it's huge. Mainly, he uses one room for his office where he sits there and writes down the jutsu that he knows, try to create more jutsu. So that, yeah, that's his office. And he has learned quite a lot of seals throughout time because he gained Hashirama's full memories. In the week, he has gained Hashirama and Madara's full memories. In short form, the time while Hashirama was watching his wife, what she was an Uzumaki, I forgot her name. Uh, I'll think about it later. Wait a minute, I'm just gonna look it up. Her name is Mito Uzumaki. So while she was practicing seals, Hashirama was watching her. So Izuku would start learning the seals, how to place them. So he would train hard, harder than ever. He will create three trees, four trees around his home, so they can absorb chakra from the sun, because the sun is the only thing that can give him chakra, because the nature energy does not exist in this world. So he uses sun's energy and converts it into chakra. So he has placed several seals around his home to make it more secure, make it more durable. So yeah, his home is quite durable, and he knows storage seals, high level storage seals. It's meant to kept bijus, but he kept different stuff, emergency stuff like emergency food, military grade food, and so just in emergencies, because he wants to be fully prepared. Because the part of him is kind of like thinks like a ninja, fully prepared, ready to go to do everything. And so in the time he starts going to school, he doesn't talk too much. First he would talk a little, now he prefers to stay silent. Everyone understand because his mother just died, so that's his way of coping with it. And so let's continue the story. Izuku has goes to school, goes home, trains. Whenever he's in school, he uses half of his chakra to create as many shadow clones as he can, so they can train while he can't. Sometimes he just sends the enhanced wood clone at his place, so he can do physical training. Physically, he's ripped. I mean, chiseled, pure chiseled. And so, uh, damn it, I should sleep after this video. And so Izuku has gotten a lot more stronger. He has gained Hashirama and Madara's full memories. His chakra is now more denser. He has learned how to use the Susanoo. His Susanoo color is black, pure pitch black Susanoo. And his Susanoo is even stronger than Sasuke or Madara's Susanoo. And so Naruto was sitting on a moonlight night outside and think, huh, now there's only two memories left, Indra and Ashra's. After that, I'm pretty sure I won't be having any other memories. Uh, let's see what happens next. I've gotten so strong. Then his phone would ring and he will. No, I would scratch that. Because he's sitting on outside because 2 days ago a phone call came from USA that his father's body was found, not body anymore, but his father has also died. Izuku just hung up on them. He didn't even want to talk to them. He just lost his entire family. And so, uh, because tomorrow was Hayashi's funeral, Izuku would pick up his phone and look at the bank account, his own bank account. There are totally $90 million there. He would say I should learn how to drive now. He's already read all the books, watched how to drive, how to do racing while using his sharingan to gain as much experience as he can. And so the day comes. After the funeral, uh, Izuku goes home because the next morning he had a driving test. so he can gain his license. He goes there, passes it with A in a single try, full marks. Even the instructor was quite shocked because no one has ever passed it in the first try in a full mask without doing any mistake, because he's seen so many videos, so many tutorials on internet on how to drive cars, how to drive a stick car, how to drive cars with a left side steering, right side steering, how to drive car, automatic cars, how to drive a race car, how to drift, how to do everything. So yeah, Deku will be an overpowered person, and he won't be getting one for all. He will just straight up decline. Straight up just declined. He will say, I will take it. Well, I'll tell you the story when the time comes. And now everyone is 12, no, 13. And now we come to the start of the anime itself. Izuku is just sitting on the back reading a book about different kind of metals, because something that he tried last night, that he thought, maybe I can use something called Swift style, that you use electricity and wind with it, because he was working on creating the lightning armor, right? Kage's right, lightning armor that he saw in the fourth great ninja war. And so while doing that, he uh, mistakenly add wind and lightning chakra at the same time. In return, he was able to use swift release. Izuku was quite shocked. He said, so I have two, no, three Kage Genkais, or perhaps four because of those chains as well. Yes, Izuku has unlocked his chakra chains and mastered them to an extent. Now he can throw chains from his hands on his palms and multiply them through there. He doesn't have to use his back to throw the chains anymore. He mastered, he's learning more about swift release now. He sees that swift release is quite fast, especially if you add it with the body flicker. I'm the fastest shinobi. In these 12 years where the tragedy occurred to Izuku, where his both parents died, he has been focused his brain on medical ninjutsu. So his medical ninjutsu is as good as Tsunade. His chakra control is as good as Tsunade, and he has a black mark, the 100 healing, similar to Tsunade. It took him 6 months to create it because of his immense chakra, but he created it. No one in the school asked him about it because they didn't too much bothered him, because both of his parents died, and all that much. Few people who wanted to bully him on that. Naruto and Deku just bodies them pretty badly. They were in the hospital the next day. Broken arms, broken ribs, so no one messes with him anymore. Katsuki especially. Katsuki stopped messing with him the day his mom died. And so Izuku has also learned several of his Mangekyo abilities, like Susanoo, I already told you, uh, Izanagi, Izanami. He knows how to do it, he never does that, but he still knows because he uh, has it on him. You know how Madara programmed it? He has it on that whenever he dies, he can come back after 5 minutes. So if he dies in a battle, he will able to come back and finish whoever killed him off. And he also knows Amaterasu, flame control, and he also has Tsukuyomi. He has practiced Tsukuyomi a lot. He has his own version of Tsukuyomi, and he's also realized he also has Kamui. He has all the abilities of previous Sharingan wielders for some insane reason. But his Kamui he can only use for 5 minutes, just like the original. But he has two different space places, one similar to Obito space and one different, that's just White Room. It's not as big as the other one, but it's so the white one, Deku has placed a generator, uh, and a battery, a bed, almaris, a change of clothes, few weapons. Yes, kunas. He uses kunas. He knows how to forge weapons. He has forged katanas now. There and few other stuff like food, extra food, and other stuff. He used it as an escape room where if he needs to hide somewhere, he can hide in there. Or if he needs someone to emergency stuff, even has some medical top class medical gear in there because he has $100 million. So yeah, he can use black market to buy things. He had top class medical stuff as well. They're small rooms, but there are two of them. So one is a living quarter he made, and other is a pure hospital type stuff, pure medical stuff, and all that. And everything is powered by a generator that basically runs on pretty high density of fuel. He also have few extra gasoline containers there that if a generator runs out, so he can refill it. And this place where the same place where Obito has, he uses to practice his Susanoo and other different jutsu because now he doesn't need to go out there. He can just uh, open his go into his kamo, he create thousands of shadow clones to practice something. And he has been through the past week, he has been practicing on hand signs, on single-handed hand signs. He just uses 500 shadow clones just to do hand sign as fast as I can, as fast as they can, so he can use the hand sign as the at the blink of an eye. Because he realized that more hand sign he uses, the less chakra he uses. So he thinks if I can use the same amount of time where a normal shinobi can cast one hand sign, I can cast two of them, or even three. I can save some chakra. Even if he has so much chakra, he's still thinking of saving as much chakra as he can in a battle because he doesn't know what kind of threat he has to face. Maybe he can go back to the world of ninjas or whatever the world they came from. Because now Deku has realized, Izuku has realized that this power is not a quirk, it's something beyond it, something beyond his understanding. In that time, Izuku's chakra has completely combined to create the same chakra that uh, Sage of the Sixth Path had. Damn, I couldn't say that name. I just got blank. Whatever. And so his chakra is similar to the Sage of the Sixth Path. And he realized that now he doesn't even need to use hand signs, but he still uses a single hand sign or two hand signs just to make it a lot more easier, as he said. Or to make other people think that yeah, he needs to use hand signs to cast the jutsu. So he can make them to go their guard down. And now um, when the teacher comes in and do the same thing as canon, so yeah, all of you want to be heroes, I know that. This time Katsuki does the same thing, but Azuko doesn't even pay any mind. And when Izuku just raises her and says, Teach, I'm not feeling well, can I go? Teacher would say, Fine, Izuku. And then suddenly Izuku will turn into black butterflies and just vanish. Everyone, including teachers, would be shocked, especially Katsuki, like, what the hell was that? Did he just turn into butterflies? Or did he just learn something new? How to do? Or whatever. And Katsuki thinks, damn it, he's gotten so much more stronger than I. How the hell I'm gonna catch up to him? That's the only thing Katsuki is thinking right now. And then we cut to Izuku standing outside the school gate. He said, I'm just gonna walk home. I'm not in the mood of using anything because he wants to think more about the flying Raijin that he saw in the scroll of ceiling. and the second Hokage Tobirama Senju creates. He wants to learn that as well because he thinks that's perfect jutsu. You can track someone, keep the track of your friends, any villain, or you can just vanish around and make a teleportation system for yourself. So he's going into his memory and looking into how it was written, how it's done, how it's practiced, and so that. And Izuku knows how to forge weapons, like how to actually forge. He has a literal forge underground his home that no one knows about because he used Earth style to, change few things about his home. He creates kunais. He thinks I'm not gonna create the three prom kunai. I'm gonna create double-sided kunai for myself. Two prom double-sided kunai. Izuku would think, yes, I'm just gonna do that. Maybe a three prom but different style. Izuku is thinking that, and suddenly he felt something coming. Izuku instantaneously just vanishes. Sludge villain is like, what happens? If you don't know, Izuku just walked under the bridge and Sludge villain came, and Izuku just sees it's a villain and he turns on his sharingan, the three Tomei ones. And if you're wondering why Izuku doesn't have the running gun, because right now Izuku doesn't have the push, the emotional push, another loss that's required to gain the Renegon, just like the Sharingan and the Eternal Mangekyo Sharingan. He needs another push to gain the Renegon. Well, but his chakra is much more higher than anyone because his chakra is now almost completely same to the sage of the sixth path. He has full chakra of at the prime of Naruto Uzumaki, Sasuke Uchiha, Madara Uchiha, and Hashirama Senju, but he still hasn't gained the full power of Indra and Ashura yet. That's the only thing stopping him. And so Izuku looks at the villain and just says, "You are a villain. I don't like villains." He will form a purple glowing ball with lightnings and just no, scratch that. He just says lightning stream and instantaneously just almost completely killing the sludge villain with such high amount of voltage. Sludge villain survived because All Might came and Izuku stopped. And then All Might say, "Ho ho ho, I am here. Oh, you took care of it. You have electric work. You're quite built as well, kid." Izuku would say, "Huh, All Might. If you are here, I will be leaving then." Then Izuku instantly turned into black butterflies. All Might was shocked, like, what? What just happened? I mean, this kid just talked to me like he was above me or at the same level as me and just left, like, order me to pick up everything and left. All Might is kind of shocked, but he didn't pay too much mind to it. And while he was collecting and he was thinking at the same time, so as soon as he is done collecting, All Might runs out of his time limit and just duns. No, All Might jumps off, drops the bottle, and then lands on the roof and then turns into the Small Might form. Explosion happens. Izuku listens. Izuku uses body flicker. No, Izuku uses Kamui to appear much more faster to that place and look at it. What a pain. All Might did just took the villain and now he's out. One, the villain managed to escape, or two, All Might made a mistake and dropped the bottle. Well, whatever, I'll take care of it. Then Izuku just starts walking towards them. Heroes try to stop him. One hero just grabs his shoulder and tries to stop him, but his hand just went straight through him. He His eyes are of that of a Mangekyo sharingan, and Izuku just vanishes and appears in front of the sludge villain and grabs um, Bakugo and just yanks him out and throws him towards the villains. Or heroes, sorry. I told villains. And he looks at the sludge villain and wave a hand sign and says, Fire style, fireball jutsu. And he releases a red flaming ball. But the sludge villain managed to dodge. But uh, 80% of Surgeman's body is gone, incinerated instantaneously. Then Izuku waves a few more hands and says, lightning bolt, lightning weather change. And then suddenly a pretty huge amount of electricity just runs towards the sky and explodes on the impact of ozone layer. In turn, it did something similar to what Kiran does whenever you create a typhoon, bad weather or make it rain. Deku Izuku just did that with his lightning, and then it starts raining, putting out all the fire. The sludge villain is just there, cowering in fear. He slowly runs towards the wheel and says, I give up. I don't want to be any close to him. He would have killed me without any hesitation or so. Izuku would say, I knew you would have dodged. My eyes see through all. Then Izuku would look at them and they will see Izuku's eyes and they will turn back to three tomoe and then back to his green color. And then Izuku would say, Katsuki, you okay? Katsuki would say, yeah, I'm fine. Then Izuku would say, okay then. And then All Might would appear and say, ha ha ha, you have done well, child, but you shouldn't have. Izuku would say, shut up. You just, I defeated the sludge villain before that and you took the sludge villain and you dropped the bottle of the sludge villain by your own mistake. He says that to All Might and everyone is shocked, like what? And All Might would say, yeah, I know. But I kind of, yeah, I can say that was my fault because if I didn't realize that fast enough, I wouldn't have able to come here. I just realized when I go to the police station. uh, Dago would say, yes, I know that. And then Izuku would start to walk away. Few of the press would come at him and say, should you talk to the number one hero before they can finish it? And then suddenly they are on their knees and Naruto's releasing his pressure with his purple aura, destroying the streets instant. Not the purple, let's just say it is the same thing that the second Hokage did, releasing a wave of pressure. But that's enough to make several of the civilians fall to their knees who were too close to him. He releases chakra much less amount than the second Hokage did, so it was very little. But all the heroes felt that this kid's presence is different from a. That's not a presence of a child, not at all. All of them were on their knees, and Izuku just turns into black butterflies and leaves. All Might tries to find him, but he was unsuccessful. And then Izuku says, so why are you following me, All Might? All Might was in a small might phone and he was shocked because he didn't even sense him and he just instantly moved back in pure shock and say, what happened to you? Why are you so weak, All Might? Or say, how did you know I saw you retransform? All Might say, aren't you shocked? Izuku would say, my eyes see through all. And then All Might would see Izuku's three tomoe sharingan. Then All Might would tell him the story how he got hurt, and so Izuku would say, no, I decline. I shall not take the one for all yet. And All Might would be like, what do you mean yet? Izuku would tell him that my lifespan, the how long I can live, I don't want to take it just yet. I'd rather be the 10th wielder, where no other person has the capability to take that much power. All Might would nod, but then Izuku would say, and I can take care of that. All Might say, what do you mean? Izuku would say, I can heal you. All Might's eyes would widen and said, how? Uh, Izuku would like, that should be none of your concern. And I can even make you better, more stronger than you are now. All Might would look at him and say, fine. So Izuku would say, okay, come meet me at my home. One of the your home when your parents post one sorry when your parents will be home. Isaac would say, I don't have any parents. My mom and dad died a year ago. I'm alone now. Olmar would be shocked and he will remember on himself like how he was alone and he had Nana Shimura as someone to look up to, someone to talk to, and All Might wants to be the one like Nana Shimura to him, this kid. And so All Might and Izuku would go home, and then Izuku would take All Might to his study room, and All Might is shocked that this kid is so rich. I would say, how did you make that much money? Were your parents this rich? Izuku would say, no, I have a technique that allows me to create diamonds that I can sell whenever I need money. All Might would nod dumbly, and he will take him to the study. Then he will press a button, and a seal will appear. Then he will mm, put his thumb around his mouth and cut it a little to make it a blade. Then he will put the blood on the wall and a seal would appear. And then a doorway would open. It was something like a full lift. As would say, come on. All Might would be like, does the government know you have all that stuff? Izuku would say, no. And you won't be telling them, were you? Izuku looks at All Might with a blank look. All Might says, of course I won't. Then both of them go few floors down, and then All Might will come to a pretty awesome place, like a purely high-tech medical stuff, like top-class medical stuff that not even few hospitals will able to afford. And All Might is like, how can you afford so much? And then All Might would realize, oh, so how did you buy them? And he would say, black market. All Might would say, weren't you supposed to be a Izuku would say, yeah, I'm supposed to be a hero, but I'm not. So yeah, I can buy things black market at my will. All right to say, I guess that's fine enough. So Izuku will tell All Might to come to the machine so he can take scans of All Might, and so they will scan him, and he will calculate the damage, how much damage it is. Took some more X-rays. Then he will tell All Might to lie on the bed, and he will strap All Might down. All Might say, "What are you gonna do? What are the sprays for?" Izuku said, "Don't worry, I won't experiment on you or anything. I'm just gonna, do some healing on you that might hurt you a lot or a little, whatever it goes. I have no idea how much it's gonna hurt." All Might would nod, and then uh, Izuku would pick his hand up on All Might's wound and starts healing him. It took half an hour. He is pretty good at medical ninjutsu, as good as Tsunade, but he hasn't ever done it to anyone, and All Might was his first person to do it. So yeah, he gained quite a lot of experience, the real life experience from All Might. All Might would be completely healed, but he won't go directly into his buff form. He will go into semi-buff form. Then Izuku will tell him, probably because your body has took too much damage, so you should work your body upper again from nothing. All Might would say, fine. And then Izuku would say, now it's time to make you better. All Might say, what do you mean? Izuku would say, look into my eyes. And Izuku would say, Tsukuyomi. And here I end this video, guys. The next video will come after a few hours, probably 10 hours, because I need to sleep. I'm really sleepy. So yeah, goodbye guys. Like and subscribe.